Sluts selling butts, them buttholes done been sold. Dogs breeding like bugs, rabbits are coat hangers. Killers killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. 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 Where'd all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? While killers be killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. 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 Oh. Where'd all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? While killers be killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. 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 News.
News. News. News. News. Oh no, I left it up with the drawing and everything. So I'm actually going to do Photoshop tonight for Nailsin News for these stories that I touched upon during Pat's show. So there you go. You get this guy. That's not a good drawing of him, but hey, close enough. He's a 30-year-old who had a relationship with a 15-year-old girl. This is her father who thought, hey, you know, he's a good guy. Then we have, I'm assuming is something of an update to this story because this happened during the Super Bowl where this woman was solicited for the act of prostitution by a reporter. But she was actually a hustler, so she spiked his drink to knock him out, then rob him and split. Unfortunately, he apparently had some reaction to the drink, or she did a little too much of it this time around because she's done this several times before and all of that. So I drew her picture from her mugshot, so we'll get into her story. And then there's a third story involving a janitor who had a peculiar habit and a condition. Then, of course, Pat Dixon. Well, he's not one of the, despite what people say, no, he doesn't belong with this crowd. But anyway, which, that's probably the best drawing I did, you know. And because the light from his monitor was reflecting into the lens, just left it blank, you know. That's a comic book thing you can do. It is. It's true. And even if you draw the eyes in and everything and then color it, according to me, you can leave it black and white because it's reflecting the existence of the lens in the glass. You see that? You can see the light in my glasses. You see that? There's this glass right there, you know? And that's what that's about. See, you learn things here on Nailsin Miscellanea. But for tonight's show, it's all about the news. Come on, stupid. Would you just work with me? Oh, for God's sakes. Come on, OBS. Do your part. You know, do. Look at that. See, was that too much to ask? Oh, my God. Apparently. So anyway, there we go. Yes, turquoise person is still waving. So we got that going for us. I've changed things around, so now my head is enormous on the screen. I wonder, could... No, that's not it. No, this one. Damn. Don't you just... Yeah, okay. I need to see the thingamajiggy. There we go. All right. Let's see. There, that's a little bit better. No, that's a lot better. Let's see. Do I shrink down? There we go. See, it'd be nice to do all this, but I don't do prep. All right. So we'll get to our stories for this edition of Nailsin News. And boy, you know, if I want to keep these and you break them up later into videos all their own with illustrations and stuff, I'm going to have to turn that chat off for the moment. Yeah. Don't worry. I'll get to it. All right. So nobody's watching on YouTube according to this. Oh, well, what are you going to do? All the more reason about this being archived and repurposing it for later videos with theme songs and everything. Oh, man, won't that be something? I mean, yeah, it'll be something, whether it's good or not. Well, we'll see. Okay. There she is. All right. New Orleans woman charged with murder after Super Bowl reporter was found dead in hotel. Now, again, this is an old story, and I'm assuming this is going to be some sort of update. But I didn't read ahead, so, you know. Police announced a murder charge. Well, they waited this long, you know, against a woman they alleged drugged and robbed a reporter from Kansas City who was in town for the Super Bowl in February. Adon Manzano was found dead in a Kenner hotel room on February 5th after he was seen walking in with the suspect, Danette Colbert. Manzano's phone and credit card were missing from the room. Were reportedly later found at Colbert's home. Police called Colbert a career criminal who has allegedly committed similar crimes on other victims. She was arrested at the time for property crimes, including robbery and bank fraud. At a press conference on Tuesday, March 18th, Jefferson Parish Coroner Dr. Jerry Savanovich shared that Manzano died from the combined toxic effects of alcohol and Xanax, along with positional asphyxia from lying face down in a pillow. Ah, jeez, Danette, what the hell? His manner of death remains undetermined. Well, I imagine he was so zonked out, and if he was laying, you know, face down, and the asphyxia, there you go. Anyway, according to Vidovanovich, Manzano's blood alcohol level was 0.232. Nearly 4 times the legal limit. He also had not an insignificant amount of Xanax in his system. Savanovich explained that while Manzano's Xanax level was not as high as some overdose cases, the lethal amount goes way down when the anti-anxiety drug is combined with alcohol and other central nervous system depressants. Even though most overdose cases are ruled accidental. Sabatovich said he in his office said Mansano's manner of death was undetermined because of the uncertain circumstances of this case. Kenner Police Chief Keith Connolly also spoke at the press conference and announced the arrest of Colbert's alleged accomplice, Ricky White. He was located in Hollywood, Florida, and has been charged with the same property crimes as Colbert. Police obtained a warrant to arrest Colbert on a charge of second-degree murder. So she was rebooked into the Jefferson Parish Jail on that charge. We don't want her to see the light of day again, Connolly said. Watch the video? Nah, that's okay. So, all right. There you go. Odds are she doped the guy up. He passed out, and she used Xanax. They were drinking. I mean, you got to look. Does Mansano have a prescription for Xanax? Well, if you clear that up, then you can pretty much figure out that she's the source of the Xanax, and that's what she used. And in the previous crimes, did she dope up the other idiot Johns with Xanax? And there you go. You know, she's doing that. So that's probably how it all went. And, second-degree murder because, well, she didn't really intend to kill the guy because she was just robbing the other guys too when she dope him up. And whoops, you probably should have noticed he was, had his face buried into the pillow. And he's going to need that air passage open to get air in. Without it, well, you die. So there you go. They say undetermined, but, it was asphyxiation. So, but how did that come about? Well, I think we can figure it out. So, oh, well, Colbert, you're in a lot of trouble now, but you just kept doing what you did, and now you're done. I really wish I'd said that on camera. Oh, well, Colbert, you screwed up this time around, but you just kept doing what you did, and now you're done. Team, go with that one. All right, there we go. Pretty good. Nodak, hit the like button. Yes. Pellel says, hello, everyone. Hello, Pellel. Nodak says, howdy, Pale. Pellel says, hey, Nodak. Pellel, Xanax plus alcohol, big no-no. And she, it worked on the other one. So she did it anyway. I'm guessing. I don't know. Nodak, I can't believe Cardi B used to do the same thing. Dope a guy up and rob him. Oh, I can believe it. And she's proud of it, too. Yeah. So Dan Ants said, well, good enough for Cardi. Good enough for me. Pam, I am. Funny. Well, in a way. Yeah, well, there you go. A New Orleans prostitute, Although, I did she ever fulfill the prostitution obligations? Sounds like no. Some of them wake up, that must have been pretty good. Nah, they're like, where's my wallet? Where's my phone? Yeah. Where's my underwear? Saint Ranger, he is funny. Oh, me? Yes, I know. Pam, I am great seeing everyone. Isn't it? Yes. God, I still think I'm up too close. And it'll do. It'll do. Pellel at Pam, I am great. I am great seeing you too. All right. Well, it's nice to see everyone getting along. Isn't that sweet? All right. Let's take it. Only 3 stories, but don't worry. I got these switched around. All right. We'll go to this guy. I didn't draw a picture of this guy, but I will do the Photoshop business, with him. For later, you understand when I make use of these, videos, All right, there he is. Let me make doubly sure everything's fine. Yep, there it is. So, all right. Nothing will make it better. Janitor with incurable STD urinated into water bottles, allegedly infected more than a dozen women at doctors' offices. God. So, what's his deal? Man, he's really pissy, isn't he? A janitor in Texas is heading to prison for urinating into water bottles and rinsing his private parts in them, with more than a dozen women coming forward and accusing him of giving them a sexually transmitted disease at doctors' offices where he worked. Lucio Diaz, 50, was sentenced to 6 years in prison. 6 years only? I mean, after pleading guilty to only one, of his alleged urine attacks on a woman he worked with at an office in the Houston area. Oh, boy, he worked with her, huh? Yeah. Got some kind of obsession going on. The 54-year-old victim contracted herpes simplex 1 virus from Diaz after he tainted an office water dispenser and water bottles she brought home from work. Good Lord. God. You will have my taint in you. You will. I suppose they could do the test on it to make, was it really him or, but yeah. He just happens to have, and so, hey, look, it's the same DNA sequence of herpes in the water bottle, but it looks like security. Yeah, you see, assume you're on camera all the time, and, yeah, don't whip it out. What? She spoke to a local affiliate in October 2022 about what happened, saying cops confirmed through urinalysis that Diaz was behind the disgusting acts and that he was also caught on hidden camera. What? That's right, Lucio. We got you. Oh, man, I fell for that one. This individual is a sick man, the unidentified woman said while describing what was caught on camera. Diaz pulls out his penis and puts his penis in my bottle. Basically rinses his penis in the water. I learned I acquired a sexually transmitted disease for which he also tested positive for. Diaz was charged with indecent assault and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. His dick, with his bodily fluids being considered the weapon as they contained an incurable STD. So she's stuck with this shit because this weirdo had some thing for her, His acts were discovered after the victim and others came forward and reported smelling urine in their water and on their personal bottle. So I guess you didn't smell it at first. You took a swig and you're like, oh, what's that smell? And this tastes funny. Holy crap. Well, he gave me an STD I will have for the rest of my life, the victim said. Nothing is going to change it. Nothing will make it better for me. In fact, I feel like for the rest of my life, I will have to be careful. And a guy who's clearly got some weird sexual obsession with this woman, in his eyes, he won, because, part of me will always be with you. Yeah. That's the, one of the sad factors here. At least 13 women have reportedly come forward over the past 3 years and accused Diaz of spreading herpes and hepatitis A to them, with 4 of them teaming up for a lawsuit that was filed against him and one of the office buildings where he worked in 2022. Women from at least 2 different offices in the Houston area have reportedly come forward. The civil suit reportedly named one of the building's owners, its management company, the maintenance company, and the cleaning company that Diaz worked for. The status of the suit as of March 2025 is unclear. Well, you got to wonder how much vetting was done. Does he have a record? Was there some weird perversions going on previously? And was that, of course, I don't know, for janitorial work. Yeah, shouldn't they be tested for hepatitis and all that, before you have access to restroom facilities and all that? I mean, you're going to anyway. You don't know who the hell's going in and out of those places and all that, but and you never. Well, I mean, they got the disease already, but how many of them are the type? You know what? I don't know that I'd ever win her over to like me, but I could certainly stick my dick into her water bottle. The water bottle openings are not that big. Oh. They have a duty to protect their tenants, and they wholly failed in those responsibilities, Attorney Kim Spurlock said. And well, there is something to that, but you'll have to make the case of how they could have known and whatnot, especially if this guy has some record. And not seeing it. Ashton Too High says, honest dear, I never cheated on you. Someone must have pissed in me bottle at the gym. Seriously, though, how on earth are these buildings owners, management company, the management company, and the cleaning company expected to protect tenants from that sort of behavior? Yeah, and it's not an unreasonable question. It's the question they're going to have to answer through the case. But if there's more detail here that he did have some, crap in his background, he said, whatever, just clean the toilets and dump the trash, then, oh boy, now you got a lawsuit. But yes, the initial woman they're talking to, and it's her bottle on camera and everything, and sounds like they traced it directly to him. And then suddenly all this women, hey, I work there. See, honey, I didn't cheat on you. It was this pervert. But odds are, unless he was just particularly obsessed with this woman, that he does this. But it could be he's just doing it to women all over the world because you women wronged me because you wouldn't play with my pee-pee. But now my pee-pee will play with you. It could be something as simple as that. Could be. Oh, wait. Let me do the retake. Well, it's possible he was obsessed with this one woman, but odds are he's pissed off at all women because they wouldn't play with his pee-pee. But now his pee-pee will play with them. There, that'll work. Again, producer, go with that one. All right, we're good. We're rolling right along, huh? Yeah. Okay, everyone said hi. St. Ranger says hi. Hi, St. Ranger. St. Ranger says, beyond the beyond. Terry Nee, he will not be ignored nor forgotten. Sad to say, it sucks, but holy shit. I wonder what did it say? Oh, I already turned it off. I don't have it anymore. Maybe it didn't say what time he's looking at. But good Lord, considering the rest of this woman's life, and I guess the other women as well, I don't know what their condition is. He's compromised their health, and that's forever. Yes, forever. And so you just get a little bit more serious stuff than just the regular, hey, he's a weird perv and shit, Anyway, St. Ranger says, hi, Pam, I am. Always bring your own drinks. Well, that's the thing, Pam. She did. This guy just went around and, she just left her water bottles at her desk or whatever. He comes in supposedly just to empty the trash or something. And he says, well, that's her water. I can put my pee-pee in her water. And he did. Apparently swished it around in there, too. Pale Ale, nowadays, no doubt someone is filming. Yeah, just assume it. You know? I know, we all forget. You forget and you whip it out. St. Ranger's Spycraft 101 is needed for modern day life and survival. Yeah. But the problem here is once the deed is done, it's done. I mean, you would have to constantly check that's what you would have to do. Constantly check. Hey, no one messed with my water bottle, huh? I don't want to come in and look at the monitor later and realize. Well, I'll have to check the camera later. Anyway, Nodak, prank. Yeah. And then she had to call for secure. Pell good think he didn't work at a restaurant. Who's to say he didn't? And that's another thing, the restaurants. I mean, you don't know. Over the years, how much jizz did you swallow? Pell, imagine if he infected someone who was claiming virginity. I know. Oh my God. Yeah, likely story. Wanting to be a nun, then gets kicked out because no one believed her. Well, that's why the cameras is the work of God. You see, then she would say, you see, there's the bastard. I mean, the horrible sinner that we must all forget. Pissing in her water bottle. But then again, they all said, fine, really, the water bottle stunk like pee. Yeah, don't drink from that. I guess they quickly, oh man, I'm so thirsty. Something smells like piss. Oh my God. All right, let's check the monitor. Whoops. Pell, I remember, or 6 years. The sentence? He's facing 6 years? That's not nearly enough. Nodak, 6 years, I thought it said. Okay, that sounds about right. I don't think 6 years is enough for this. I mean, this is some serious damage. Beyond just, the creepy crap of, I touched you with my dick from afar. Yeah. Pam, I say get a rope. There was a time. That's exactly what would have happened. We still got trees and rope. Pam, real punishment. I mean, they could all, put STDs all over his water bottle, but he's already got it. So he's like, ah. So it's not really a punishment fit the crime. It's the punishment to fit the level of shittiness of the crime. Hey, that's really shitty. Let's just kill him. St. Ranger, Doug, you entertain us so much, but unlike a TV show, we can tell you in real time. Thanks. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's true. This is live right now. But if you're watching it later, it's not. But it was taped live. Taped. Well, there's no tape. It was recorded digitally, live. And now it's a recording. That's for those of you watching this later. See, I include everyone. Pell, I am an imperfect human. God can forgive, so I don't have to. Well, that's true. Because, it's like, he's God, He's created the whole universe, and he's like, look at that. Guy stuck his dick in that. I didn't look at the monitor. Well, here come the tests, just to be sure. Besides, if I wake up with any sores. God damn it. Good help is hard to find, isn't it? Damn it. These janitors. Oh, you janitors. All right, our final story, which will not be classified as Father of the Year. St. Ranger says, my side hurts. I'm laughing still. Good Lord. Well, look, don't injure yourself. But I appreciate the compliment. There we go. Let's turn the camera off because I got to keep my beg banner up. Here we go. And the quote is, seem like a nice guy. Yeah, that was your first mistake. Dad invited 31-year-old Florida man to share a bedroom with his 15-year-old daughter. So, here's the boyfriend. Nice shirt. Yeah. And here's dad. Geez, did he do a lot of coke or what? You know, I mean, God. Anyway, a Missouri dad thought his teenage daughter was talking to a nice guy online. Oh, jeez. And allegedly invited him to come live with them, even though that guy was 31 years old. Hey, this is like the setup of a sitcom, isn't it? Frederick Copping, 47, was arrested on March 14th, along with Travis Kalkbrenner, 31, the Florida man who called Copping's 15-year-old daughter his girlfriend. According to a probable cause statement, police were called to the home in response to a possible domestic incident. The arrest warrant was for Copping. Said that when Cole County Sheriff's Office deputies arrived, they observed that the teenager was extremely intoxicated. And according to the local affiliate, she claimed to be 22 years old. Deputies soon found out that she was 15, and her living situation raised some eyebrows. All right. According to Copping's arrest warrant, he explained to police that his daughter had been talking to Kalkbrenner for a few years. Few? Now, usually few can count as 3. So, that's 12? Good Lord. Oh, anyway, on the internet, yeah, where all the good stuff happens. And the two communicated on the Discord app, including video chats. I'll bet. Copping told police that Kalkbrenner seemed like a nice guy and allegedly invited the man to move into his home with his underage daughter. Copping stated that he believed Kalkbrenner was 25 or 26 years old. Oh, well, that changes everything. But reportedly admitted that he wasn't sure. So at least Kalkbrenner didn't say, hey, man, I'm 16. No. The probable cause statement, as well as the warrant, described how Copping and his daughter allegedly drove to Florida to get Kalkbrenner. Good God. I mean, is he just this big of a pushover for his daughter? You know, to where, Daddy, I love him. All right, honey. Okay. When the trio arrived back at their Russellville home in Missouri, Copping allegedly provided the boyfriend with condoms. Jeez, Louise, look, whatever you got to do, keep her occupied. I can't take her crap anymore. And told Kalkbrenner, you better not get her pregnant. Or what, Dad? What? Copping was also asked by police about his daughter's alleged intoxicated state. According to the warrant, he said, well, she has this habit of getting into his alcohol, and hey, I can't control that. According to the probable cause statement, deputies said that Kalkbrenner allegedly admitted to several sexual encounters with the teenager whom he thought was 22 years old. Well, now here's the thing. This is quite the conundrum. Her father comes to get him from Florida and drive him back to Missouri to live with them. And he may have a solid case. I really thought she was 22. You know, so, geez, there's a lot of toys here in your room. Kalkbrenner was charged with first-degree rape, first-degree sodomy, 2 counts of statutory rape, 1 count of first-degree sexual abuse, and 1 count of fourth-degree child molestation. He's being held at the Cole County Jail without bond. He's due in court on March 21st, whatever. Copping was charged with child abuse, first-degree endangering the welfare of a child, first-degree accessory to rape. Yeah. First-degree accessory to... Good Lord. 2 counts of second-degree accessory to statutory rape. 1 count of first-degree accessory to sexual... Hey, that's true. He is an accessory. He provided the condom. He said, go at it. And he's got nothing. I mean, the other guy said, look, I really believe she was 22. But the father, no. He knew she was 15, but hey, look, she's 22 in her mind. Whatever, And fourth-degree accessory to child molestation. During his video arraignment on March 17th, he pled not guilty to all charges. Yeah, that'll work. He is also being held at the Cole County Jail without bond. Well, then, him and the very nice guy can hang out and talk about, hey, man, where do you think we messed up? He is scheduled for a counsel status hearing on March 21st and a preliminary hearing on April 3rd. Oh, that's it? Well, let's see what commentary has to say. Pat Veldon says this is just so wrong on so many levels. Well, the main level here is the father. Klingon psychiatry with that's Doctor Who in there. Well, whatever. Where is her mom in any of this? Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe she passed away. I don't know. Geist von Panzer, Kalkbrenner, and his enabler Copping need to be hung by their ankles in town square. Well, only if people get to beat them with shovels and brooms and stuff, right? I mean, just hanging from their ankles after a while. It's like, I mean, they'll get sick and stuff, but they'll be all right after that. John Michael, I actually think Dad has a thing for his own daughter. Oh, God. Living out his own fantasies through the... Do you think there was a chair at the end of the bed and he said... Geist von Panzer, or with another man. Oh, he wanted his daughter to lure him in and get him all, fluffed so that he could walk in. Room for one more? I don't know. Sure is bizarre, isn't it? No, really, I thought she was 22. I thought she was 22. He's like, oh, well, she gets out of control with the alcohol, and I just can't deal with that. Well, you got stuff to deal with now. So the lesson here is don't let 30-year-olds date your 15-year-old. Best I got at the moment. All right, that concludes our stories for Nailsin News. And consider yourself well informed. I know the rest of the news, it's Trump and the wars and all that stuff, these crazy judges who hate him and stuff and are on a power trip, all that kind of stuff, JFK files. But no, you're missing out on other very relevant details that you need to know about. And thank God for Nailsin News. That's why I'm here, for you, the people. It's not going to let me scroll. So why does it do that? Geez, come on. I got to see this one. Oh, wait. Maybe if I go ahead and turn the thingamadoodly back on. Oh, man. When things don't scroll, you can't go. It should be all in its own little sections, to be able to do that. Well, I still can't read. I guess if I take the, yeah, we're done with Nailsin News, so we can take that off. No, I'm still missing a good bit of the chat. So, damn. Oh, there it goes. It's working now. Jeez, what the hell? Pell-El, yeah, okay, that's it. Pell-El, he wanted his cock brenner, know what I'm saying? Hack, yeah. I mean, something's going on there. Pell-El, Pell-El almost eligible for AARP. If you get convicted of being an accessory to rape and sodomy of an underage girl, are you still eligible for AARP? I don't know. Pam I am at Pell-El. I liked what you said about forgiving. Yeah. Pam I am. I'm 64. Pell-El. Pam I am. LOL. I actually do believe that. I tried to show forgiveness, but some instances I just can't. This is what God is for, right? Well, that and other things, you know. Saint Ranger. Yes. Yes, you are. Pell-El, I appreciate the name Klingon psychiatrist, almost like nasty love coach, Nazi love. I don't know. Saint Ranger, right. It is all the dad. Maybe dad sold mom to his buddies in the motorcycle club. It's like, Daddy, whatever happened to mommy? Ah, well, needed some cash. Saint Ranger, oh, yeah. Pell-El, telling by his pick, he's too busy working on a Nobel Prize for mathematics to look after his daughter. That could be it. You know, I've got ambitions and dreams, damn it. She wants her 30-year-old boyfriend she met online. I don't know. He seems nice. Pam I am. I could listen for hours to Nailsin News. Thanks, Doug. Well, that's an idea. Well, yeah, I've done that with like at the year end. I've done best of videos. Some of them I'm going to have to keep on locals behind the paywall because it's nothing completely explicit, but and I was like, I got one and said, hey, that could be a good placeholder video before the show starts. And I was looking through it, like, maybe not that one, but like, putting a bunch of those out and then like marathon type videos, they just go on for an hour, maybe two. And got a lot of them, but I'd have to review a lot of it because I got a little carried away back in the days when no one watched anything I did. So I figured, hey, I'm fine. Whoops. All right. So there we go. Let's see. I know it's clean. There's no one here. Funny gag though, huh? Not for those gals in Houston, though. Good Lord. How do you even come up with that? It's like, I've got this sexual obsession, but they're unattainable. But wait, their water bottles are right there. Part of me can touch part of them. I don't know. Did he go home later after all that and jack off about it? Probably, Jeez Louise. But, like I said, good help's hard to find. And of course, office buildings, that's a lot of trash cans and bathrooms sometimes. But I was about to say, if you want something done, do it yourself, But they're like, I'm beat. I'm not cleaning this place up. So you leave it to this guy, Luis or Lucio Diaz, And there's a price to pay, isn't there? Yes. Yes, there is. All right. I guess could go to, I don't really even need, well, because I don't need to set up the scanner or nothing to put in art. So I could just go right to it. But I think I'll go ahead and do a break and come back because I got to go walk my leg. That's the latest ailment. And gee, let's hope it's not a blood clot. Yeah, always got to make it almost like a damn horror movie. But that is my life these days. Almost. Oh, whoa, that's way too dark. Geez, now I'm disappearing. How about this? No, that's no. There you go. Good enough. There's almost some definition. Like that. Man, look at that. Yeah, yeah. St. Ranger, let's Uber Doug some food or drinks. Well, I appreciate it. However, did you vet the Uber driver? And I mean, he's got to come all the way out here in the sticks, you know? Nothing but, well, it used to be all farm country and cow pasture. Those were the days. I worked out there with my daddy. And now almost all of it's gone. But anyway, it's, you know, far away from civilization and all that stuff. It's really nice to look out the window and see absolutely nothing except, you know, cows. Every now and then a deer will show up. A couple of bobcats came through here one time. I was like, holy shit, that ain't your average kitty cat. That's a bobcat. And the coyotes. Yeah. Yeah. And then a wolf one time. Holy crap, those things are massive. They're big. Anyway, but yeah, the Uber driver's like, I had to come all the way out here in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there's trees everywhere and stuff. Ew. And all that, you know. So he might want to, you know, piss on my sandwich and all that sort of stuff. Now I'm part of you, Doug. Forever. Shit. And no matter what I do, send him to prison, you know, even if I beat the crap out of him, I'm stuck with his taint for all eternity. Yeah, I mean, Pam was right. Get a rope. Pell, either he hates women or is mad, and if he has it, everyone else will too. Yeah, it could be. He's still blaming the same woman that gave him the STD, you know. That's one of the theories behind Jack the Ripper. They figured he caught syphilis, and so he was just, you whores. And I went nuts on him, you know. Plus, you know, syphilis back in those days, you know, they didn't have the treatments and whatnot. So it could eventually attack your brain, and you went batshit crazy. St. Ranger, okay, sounds good. How long? I appreciate the thought, but thanks anyway. Besides, they got to go and make sure it's keto and all that stuff. Oh my God, the headache, you know. Anywho, let me see, what could I play while I get up and go? Wake me up before you go. Yeah, I'm one of those that was like, George Michael's gay? Really? What? Oh, here we go. City Hall. This will be fun. I think I played it before. Yeah, I did. But you know what? How about one more time? And how long is it? It's less than 5 minutes, but I won't run it that long. I'll be back before then. So here you go. City Hall.
I need the city to protect me because the federal government won't. And if you think you're afraid of Trump, you should see how afraid of Trump I am.
Can you wrap up, please?
Yeah,
Yes,
please.
I can. If you say that you're afraid of Trump and that's why you don't want the city to be a safe space for trans people, you better prepare for trans people to make this a very unsafe space.
I'm shaking right now. I don't want to be here.
Please?
I'm sorry, am I taking too long pleading for my life?
You remembered how many children I have and that 2 of them are trans.
I speak as both the B and the T in the LGBT.
I'm multiply disabled. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder that causes me immense physical pain. I'm on the autism spectrum, and I have narcolepsy, and I couldn't drive myself here, so I had to hide from my driver that I was in drag, which is not an easy thing to do in drag.
I do not want to be here. It's my day off. I do not want to be in your DMs. I do not want to be in your email inboxes. I do not want my creativity writing diss tracks like Kendrick. I don't want to spend an hour applying glitter on my face so that you will hear and see me. I want you to listen to me.
Let us remember that the Nazis burned the books the Nazis burned books on gender sciences first. Now the administration has villainized and marginalized migrant workers, trans, LGBT people, and even special needs, denying life-saving and affirming care.
Can you look at me and tell me how many of my friends need to die before you do anything?
Please wrap up.
Look at me!
Okay, we're all done here.
Fucking pathetic!
We're all done. Come on.
Of course, we need to continue celebrating Black History Month because in spite of what's coming down from Washington, we all know that we all exist and we all need to be recognized for our existence.
But be aware that you are a guest in my house when you come. And when you come, know that there are strong queer and trans people in my classroom who will collect you with the quickness.
My name in drag is Dee Dee Delight. And my name out of drag is Dewey Cosgrove Atienza.
Laddie LaRouge, he, they, in drag, District 3.
My legal name is Olivia D'Ambrosio. My public name is Livy Scanlon. My wife and I own a home in the Canal District.
I speak as someone who is always misgendered, like all the time. People refer to me as sir when I prefer to be referred to as ma'am. I speak as someone who is afraid to use public toilets. I speak as someone who is a member of this community and is a queer person.
You have to imagine being me and my wife, fearing that our marriage rights will be stripped away at any moment.
Please, I only have so much time. Please, Joe's gonna cut me off.
Which matters more? Covering the legal fees of systemic police brutality or protecting the lives of queer people in our community? How many lives have to be lost before you consider fighting back against fascism and corruption?
Now is the time to say that if federal money relies on the dehumanization of trans people, that we don't want your goddamn money.
I get that some of you care more about easy funding than trans lives and don't mind Nazis for some whatever reason, but
Normally I would say good evening, but through the chair I will only impart my sour grapes.
It's an extremely emotional and taxing thing to stand up here as someone as part of the trans and gender diverse community.
My name is Katie. I'm from District 5, and I'm speaking in support of agenda items 10B and 14B. Right now in our country, Trump is threatening the trans and gender diverse community.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, I did take that long. I just happened to come in and I could see it. Oh, jeez. All right, then. I guess it's perfect. Oh, goodness gracious. Moi. So, all right. Oh, hey, I'm having trouble reading. Actually, I can kind of read it even without the. See, perhaps this, they say you can train your eyes to still read. Saint Ranger, you need a pocket pistol for walking. Pocket pistol, yes. A pistol that fits in your pocket. Or have like one of those Derringers where you had the little armband thing, the gear that holds it so it can you come out of your sleeve, and it comes out of your. Those only because some carried only one bullet, but I think some of them are capable of two. So it's something. You got to have it right between the eyes, or he gets another shot and you're done. Pell Doug long lost son. Doug's long lost. Look, what am I doing? Who am I kidding? Doug's long lost son. LOL, LOL. You mean one of the characters in the yeah. look, they all have a condition, you know. But when they try to impose, Saint Ranger, oh wow, classic Monty Python Twit of the Year award. You see, this is what it's like. All the jokes and whatever humor and whatnot was all prophecy. Little did we know this was our future we were seeing. Now we're living it. Pam, I am. Oh, boo hoo. Yeah. Well, yeah. You'd better boo hoo. Yeah. Pell-El, it's like pro wrestling, but in government. Yeah. Yeah. Pam, I am. I think I'll take a walk like Doug. It's a good thing to do. You got to make time for it and stuff. And it's at this point, it's necessary for me anyway. But I get stuck in what I'm doing. You know, I just want to sit here, work on the artwork, record, and that's all I care about. But then you got to go work for somebody to have money to maintain all this, you know. Pell-El and Canal District, probably. Oh. No, it's exactly as I read it. What's your location? Anal Canal. Pell-El, I'm afraid he using public toilets looks like he can drop one hell of a deuce. Jeez. Nodak, I'm mislabeled all the time. I prefer to be known as King Nodak. Dun, dun, dun. Stealth Chaos, the circus has come to town. Yeah, you know, I know that the animals were being abused, the elephants, and it's true. I you know, but man, when they took them away, you know, the clowns have been a mess ever since. Geez. Then it became what? Cirque du Soleil. I don't know what the hell that is. That is anyway. Stealth Chaos. Hooray! Pell-El, so dramatic and theatric. Well, boy, theatrics go a long way with that crowd, you know. Everything's a costume. And Pam, I am. I'm so glad Doug's back. Yes. Well, that was the end of the video anyway. I thought I'd be back faster than that, but I don't know. I go into a fog and whatnot. But anyway, boy, perfect timing though. Weird. Usually nothing works right. There it was. Yeah. There's another town hall about they're all mad because this woman doesn't want her daughter to be forced to strip in front of boys. Well, not just her. It was all the girls. In a PE class, and it's just not as good as this one. There's some clips there. Maybe I'll make one out of that. But yeah, that's the deal. They're upset that she's upset that they forced her daughter and the other girls to strip in front of the boy who says he's supposed to be a girl or whatever. And, you know, initially the girl said, well, we're just not changing in front of him. And they're like, oh, yes, you will. Sounds like a crime, doesn't it? You know? So the madness continues. It ain't over yet. St. Ranger Middle School Drama Queens. This, too, was about middle school. Middle school. Doing that to little girls, you know. Nodak, thanks for that clown show, Doug. Yeah, well, that's putting it mildly. Pell-El, that's Stealth Chaos, LOL, Stealth Chaos, Pell-El, love emoji. St. Ranger, we knew someone who had the arm thing, but the gun shot out on its own side. Well, all right, he lost a finger maybe, but, you know, what if it goes off when it's in your pants, you know? Oh, geez. You need like a 25 auto or 38 lightweight revolver. Well, yeah, the 38, that's kind of the standard, wouldn't it? You could carry that. That's the thing when they talk about, they lose their minds over the AR-15 and stuff like that these days because, it looks scary. That's like something Arnold Schwarzenegger used in the movies and all that sort of thing. When actually most of the crimes and stuff is something like, a revolver. Because you can put it in a pocket. No one sees it. That big old thing, you're going to see that coming. Yeah, but it's a weapon of war and a weapon. The stupidity of language and words, and yet somehow it all works, like, it's an assault weapon. It's a weapon. That's what it does. Because, it's like, he shot me with an AR-15. And then the other guy, he just stabbed me. So that's not an assault. I can't stand the stupidity. I just can't stand it. Stealth Chaos, Cirque du Soleil. Yeah. I mean, the chicks were hot, though. They did do a naked version of that for closed venues. They did one a while back. I did like the soundtrack, though, with the Beatles music. It was called The Love Album. And they repurposed the original tracks and whatnot. And it wasn't that bad. It was pretty, sometimes like the I Want to Hold Your Hand or what didn't quite fit in with it. But a lot of it, they kind of rearranged the arrangements of Sgt. Pepper and Revolver and Magical Mystery Tour and stuff. And it worked pretty good. It was a cool little album. And plus there was a version of George Harrison's While My Guitar Gently Weeps. And I got to say, the one on that album is better than the one on the White Album. Basically, they took a track where George, I think he just recorded it with him in an acoustic guitar. And then George Martin came in for this album and put a string section to it. And it's just incredibly beautiful. It's a great track of that. So it's too bad George didn't live to hear it because it was really good. Then there was like they moved things around. They took the backing tracks of Tomorrow Never Knows and put it to Within You, Without You. I'll be damned if that doesn't work too, So it's interesting, but never saw the actual show. But yes, the women in those tights. And I don't care if they're all painted up to look like birds or whatever. God damn, are they pretty. Anyway, Stealth Chaos, send Alex Stein on a secret mission at the City Hall. Oh, Nodak, they should have played Send in the Clowns by Judy Collins over that video. You could play that song nonstop these days, Pam, I am decades ago. I refused gym class with a woman watching naked girls show. Well, that's been a complaint for quite a while. Yeah, the female coach. Now, you girls get in those showers. Like that? Yeah. Yeah, that was a thing. I've heard that story a lot. I'm like, oh. Stealth Chaos, Doug, thoughts on the Netflix show recasting a real black juvenile knife attacker as a young white actor? What show is that? It doesn't surprise me. That's funny. Because this is the one race swap they'll do where it goes from black to white rather than white to black, like all the superheroes and stuff. But it's based on a true story, like the actual perpetrator was. That's perfect. I spilt my coffee. I feel embarrassed. Anyway, yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. But before I came on the show, I was getting set up for the Photoshop segment I'm about to do. And it's all these models wearing costumes, and they're all prisoner costumes that I will use for these characters, And but the thing is, none of the models are black. There's black police officers, construction workers, cowboys, even stuff like that. No, not for the prison costume. So you got to work on that to make that happen. You know, because they're costumes. It's supposed to be silly and fun for a costume party, and you don't want to be reminded of, Stealth Chaos. All my comments getting nukes by YouTube. Really? You put in a bunch here and they just won't show up? Huh. Gee, are you going to get my channel canceled? Damn it. Good luck canceling my channel. Good luck canceling or striking my channel. Striking my channel. No, please. Don't strike it. I don't know what at this, Anyway, whatever. Stealth Chaos. Love was redone by Martin's son, I think. Oh, yeah, George Martin. Yeah, well, George Martin did work on it, but yes, his son was basically the producer of the album, but that particular piece, the string arrangement was handled by George Martin himself. So, yeah. Pam I Am, YouTube sure allows fake videos. Well, yes. Well, what are you going to do? And now, in the era of AI, is anything, you see, that'll always be my excuse. I didn't do any of this. This is AI. I mean, look at it. It's obviously fake. Who would look like this? Stealth Chaos, the show is adolescence. Have not seen it yet. Hate neck fuck licks. Oh my goodness. Well, they are the platform that platformed cuties. Stealth Chaos, I made a Travis Bickle reference that disappeared. Huh. I wonder why. Oh, because like the JFK files came in. I don't know. I mean, one of the lines from the movie, a real rain will come and wash it all away. Saint Ranger test comment is working for me. Hi, everyone. Hi, Pam. Well, I guess, YouTube is not offended by saying hi, Pam. But Travis Bickle, I guess that's crossing the line. I don't know. You can probably rent the movie on YouTube, right? Okay, whatever. You never know. That's the problem. You never know the rules. You never do. That's how they like it. They want to keep you guessing for all eternity. Man, eternity's a long time. You ever think about that? I have, but only on occasion, not for eternity. Anyway, here's the really nice guy and the father who said, I just want you to come live with us and keep my daughter busy by banging her. But you better wear a condom. See, that's being a responsible dad. So here's our choices of prison. You got the basic orange, and then you got the silly. Now, some prisons brought these back, or jails rather. And so you got those choices. This one's probably a little better. This one is looking too close to a certain conflict. Yeah. And this one might work for our hustler. It's going to be a little difficult because that's a lot of white I got to get rid of. The orange one would be easier. It would. But he's too big. I got to do 3 of these guys. Damn it. Hell, the orange one is, but she's got too much hair there. I'm going to have to fix the collar and stuff. Crap. Damn, this would almost work. Almost. But this idiot and this girl only need one girl this time around. What's this? Oh, that's the other one. Oh, jeez. Because I know this is going to be a problemo. Say, good Lord, just about all of that is gone. Damn it. Damn. Now her insidey parts are completely invisible. Good Lord, she's invisible. Once she strips down, we won't see her except her arms and legs for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know how to turn those invisible yet.
Probably losing the whole chain here. Jeez, always. I mean, it's possible. You make a layer, you go there, and that. Oops. Yeah, we can do it like that. And there we're getting all the white parts back in. Ebony and ivory, side by side on my prison uniform. Oh Lord, why can't we? Well, shit, that wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. Maybe I can do the old-timey black and white uniform. I think it was that Sheriff Arpaio guy who did it, where he brought back the old uniforms, but then he decided to make them all pink and white. Now, this is cruel and unusual. They're criminals. I don't care. Now, his feet are kind of cut off, so I got to fix that. And some of his head. But I guess it'll work. Plus, they got the ball and chain, you know. Maybe this is the husband costume. Oh, yeah. And Johnny had a lot of marriages, but Ed McMahon, he only had one, right? I don't know. I mean, the story was that he was a drunk, but probably not. He probably got drunk a time or two, but I don't know. He ended up having quite the career outside of Tonight Show, you know. He did Star Search. And then, what else did he do? The practical jokes or bloopers and practical jokes with him and Dick Clark would do that. And he used to joke around with my brother where we would dream up all these really horrible jokes that they would do that was basically like having a janitor come in and piss his ST-laden piss into the water bottles of the females. Oh, now remember, she doesn't know that his herpes-laden jizz and piss is in that bottle. And Dick Clark's getting, Ed, I don't know. This might not be. Stop being a pussy, Dick. It's hilarious. And then, you know, get ready for a lifetime of tetanus shots. Stuff like that, you know. But no, Ed wouldn't do that. It's getting too close to Rob Saul voice. No, I wouldn't do that. No. All right. See, once again, kind of like the drawings. Boy, you're being really kind here. Well, you know, it's what I do. Oh, that's right. It's hang on. I'm just now thinking in my brain. And typically that's where I do most of my thinking. That's right. In my brain is where I do all my thinking, all my ever loving thinking in my brain. There we go. All right. You shall now, well, I probably don't need to do it, but yeah. We've got to make you the hustler. Hey, that sounds like a movie. I think it was. I was doing great. I was running a hustle out of New Orleans. Damn it. But then something went wrong. Turns out I don't know shit about drugs. And then, I don't know. Just say, my charge should be reduced to, dispensing narcotics without a proper medical license. I mean, I'm not even a pharmacy technician. But murder? Shit. Well, ma'am, you did put these substances in his drink. Well, that is knowledge. And she say, oh, no, it was with his knowledge. He got really nervous, and he'd never been with a black woman before. He was nervous. And, well, that explains it. I don't know. Whatevs. I think I recall the initial story about the guy was his wife had died like the year before. I can't remember. She had, he didn't do his wife in. She was sick with cancer, I think, something like that. So, poor guy, and he's like, oh, geez, I'm so lonely and all that sort of stuff. And, well, he's got this job to do with for to cover the Super Bowl for his affiliate in Kansas City. And, well, hey, there's this hooker, and she's like, I'll suck your dick. He's like, really? And then she just took advantage of that. No, she certainly did. And now he's dead. I mean, of all the things. Well, I guess I should have known better, but, well. And he just, got tired, laid down, face down, apparently. And then she grabbed his stuff and split. And now she said, oh, shit, I got caught. He remembered me, right? And he said, no, he didn't say anything. He's dead. What? Said, well, I didn't do that shit. Yeah, you kind of did. Oops. And she probably didn't even do the task excuse, my bad. That's what we're saying. It is your bad. Yeah. So that's that. And you can say, well, the guy shouldn't have been consorting with the type. And yeah, but he didn't deserve the death penalty for it. Let's see. See if I can match up the color scheme. Yeah, that kind of works. All right. Hey, I don't know what the numbers mean, but you know, good enough. But actually, this is a new episode of Charlie's Angels. Girls, we're going to need you to infiltrate the prison. Here's your costume. And somehow it fools them all. But first, you're all going to strip. Get in that shower and you're going to get your butts powdered. Na, 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 na. I think that was an actual plot for Charlie's Angels. Yeah. Meanwhile, in the cinema, they had a lot of women in prison movies, you know. Women locked up without a man in sight. You know what's going on. And all that sort of thing. Everyone was, you know, obsessed with Farrah Fawcett. And I understand that. But I was always a Jacqueline Smith guy, you know. I just, well, she's beautiful. And Kate Jackson was nice. There we go. All right. Well, that wasn't as hard as I thought it would be, but there she is. What was her name? Danette Colbert. So you want me to wear one of these outfits? Well, yeah, for the next, I don't know, 20 years. I don't know how much she'll get. Then she's got a partner in crime they have to extradite from Florida. That was a new bit. I didn't remember that from the... Oh, damn, I screwed up her ear. Look at that. Holy shit. Suppose I could just reconstruct it. But, yeah, look. I know she foolishly got some guy killed, but I didn't mean to cut off your ear. Ah, crap, we're going to have to go back to... No, not you idiots. No, not you, pisser. There we go. Look at that, right from the get-go. Didn't get it right. All right, hold on. I'm going to get your ear back. This is the wonder of Photoshop. If only plastic surgery could work like Photoshop, you know. And you could fix all kinds of things. Get rid of all those unsightly wrinkles. Because I don't care what your friends say, they're unsightly. You're not looking like you used to. No. And you wish you could. Oh, wait. Yeah, damn it. There we go. And now you can with Photoshop for life or whatever. Good Lord, can you imagine how rich I'd be? And then all the women who would just totally do me. Because, you know, they're really all about their own beauty, you know, and once you really accentuate it and return it to its true full glory, holy crap, those chicks would just worship my junk. All right. And there's the, yeah, see, that's the problem. I think, yeah, that's a link. But that's one too. Jeez. Gotta rebuild all this. Damn it. Let me see here. Good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Remember, I do live by the motto, good enough. Well, that's really not accurate, is it? I mean, it looks like, screw it. We're going to do it anyway. I don't give a shit. I will do it the way I see fit. You'll take this chain and like it. There you go. Huh. Did part of her finger get chopped off? I don't know. Well, you weren't supposed to see that part. So we'll just back off, and there we go. Now, combat boots are, what is that? Is that supposed to be Doc Martens or something? Anyway, they're not allowed in prison. You get those, I think, slippers or something. But, you know, close enough. And again, my motto, close enough. So there she is. That's probably what she's wearing these days. I don't know if they give them shorts. You know, summertime's on the way, maybe. Anyway, so can you believe this? Yes. Yes, I can. Sooner or later, it was bound to happen. You know, I mean, what are you going to do? Well, you could, you know, get a job, but who are we kidding? So anyway, here's Romeo, the prince that Daddy found for his little girl. Daddy, I want him. Well, all right. I understand that, honey bun. I kind of want him too. Yeah. So, boy, I tell you, it's probably a good thing that the police busted this up, because this guy was probably going to find Daddy in the bedroom with him, you know. That is really a fucked up story. I think we're only getting part of it, you know. Holy shit. Well, he seemed like a nice guy. Yeah. And yeah, she drinks and she's always getting into my beer. But I don't know how to deal with that. And of course, yeah, the good question, where the hell is the mother? You know, and it's like, hey, Dad, did you just sort of take care of Mom? I don't know. All right, boy, that was quick. So there he is. I don't know how this happened. You don't, huh? So he's like, I thought she was 22. Yeah, but when she said, I got to get up and go to school, and she catches the bus with the kids, and you're like, huh, that's strange. I didn't know those buses took them to college too. They don't. But then that would mean, he's probably too short for this guy. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But still, that kind of dumb, stupid, I thought he was a nice guy. That kind of works. So we'll go with that. Although, those need to be black. This is looking too much like, you know, oh, wait. Come here. All right. Jeez. I can't have his whole, I'm not going to do 2 layers and all that crap. That takes forever. Not really, but I feel like it does. I don't know. That should match it up. So, okay, doofus. What? I don't get a Father's Day card this year? You got him arrested and
taken to prison. Daddy.
God, what a mess. Holy. Oh, damn it. I forgot. Ugh. Keep forgetting about that stupid setting, and I'll forget it again. All I care about is getting this done. There we go. I'm like, hey, I didn't know this would happen. I honestly didn't. You drove to Florida to pick him up. And just whatever, just keep her out of my hair. I've had enough of her. Uh-huh. Oops. And like, he exchanged messages and videos with the girl. Oh, God. So, yeah, they're going to go through that. And, well, look here. He's like, yeah, but, that's just art. And all the girls do that stuff now. Yeah. It's just, I can't believe it's come to this. Well, it did. I just, look, I thought he was a nice guy. Sue me already. God. Well, anyway, Mr. Pisser. Yeah. I want to share my peace with all the women of the world. Yes. To all the women of the world, I piss on you. Yes. I piss on you. Yes. And, well, he didn't get them all, but apparently, what did it say? 34 women? Or no, 13. 34. I think it was 13. From the different offices he had access to, He said, oh, that's too bad. He did a good job. Everything was clean, or so I thought. Well, I mean, my water tasted fine. I never smelled any pee in it. Yeah, you're a man. Oh, yeah. Well, that's right. Huh. Oh, well, hopefully the lawyers can toss this shit out. I'm not paying those bitches 1 cent. Look, shit happens. What do you want me to do about it? It's probably the attitude. What? God. It's true. Shit does happen. I can tell you some stories. Let's see here. Oops. Come on. There you go. There. Oh, jeez, my hand's going numb. Oh, yeah, I gotta, find some, water bottles, But oh, wait, I'm on the wrong one. There we go. And then once again, the dumb, stupid chain for his idiot handcuff. I'm pretty sure they don't wear those all the time. Oh, damn it. But he should have been cuffed while at work, so he wouldn't be able to access the the bottle so easily. It's hard to piss in a bottle when your hands are cuffed. And that's the part I don't like. I just wanted to share a little something of me To all the girls I pissed on before. Do, 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 do. Anyway, there you go. Oh boy, he's a real prince, huh? Yeah. Yay. Lucio Diaz. He pieces upon the women of the world. I don't know. That looks like sanitizer, but no, I guess that is water bottles there. Yeah. Look at that small cap. They said he's like swished it around in it. How did he do it? Did he just sort of, I don't know. I mean, he just like opened it and then roped the opening. I don't know. She did say he sort of was like washing his penis out in it. I don't know. Anyway, there we go. There's our character. There's Dad. There's Pissy Janitor. There's Romeo. And of course, Miss Hustler. There we have it. Our contestants for tonight. Contestants. Our stars for tonight's glorious episode of Nailsin News Live. Oh, let's see. Where was I? Someone should make, no, haven't seen ho, no. Hey there, feet are cut off. No, I found all of them quickly, even though, no. Lovely name, no. They look like killers. Doug, for years, no. Test Comet is working for me. Hi, everyone. Hi. Yeah, okay, we're caught up there. One more little sippy poo of my coffee. Oh, geez, I'm doing an Opie. Oh, that's... what are you going to do? Something gets stuck in your head. It's in your head. Pam says, hi, St. Ranger, my love. St. Ranger Doug, for years I tried to find news stories about a couple of events and an obscure 1966 TV show. I used the Twitter Grok feature. So did it find it? I did come across a show that I'd never heard of. It was probably, it looks like it was something that was short-lived. Maybe it was only the pilot and it never got picked up, but it was a, oh, damn it. Now I'm blanking on the guy's name. Oh, jeez. He was in a lot of movies. But he had a TV show in the 60s called The Cat. And he was a cat burglar that was now, I guess, maybe he was used by the FBI to catch other thieves type thing. Like, you know, the Catch a Thief, you know, the Cary Grant movie and all that. But this was like a series. Robert Loggia, that's who it was. It was young Robert Loggia, and he was the cat. And so he would use his cat burglar skills to solve crimes and catch other cat burglars who were still bad. They were bad cats, but he was now a good kitty. But that's all I know. Anyway, Pell, they look like killers from the 80s. Yeah. If only they had got into performing, they could do a period piece about the 80s and be, you know, the killers. The lovely Sherry. Hello, Sherry. Pell says, hello. Lovely Sherry says, hi, Pell. Pam, I am. Lovely name, Sherry. Hi to you, Sherry, baby. Susan Dolan, greetings to all in chat at Douglas Nailsin. That's me. The lovely Sherry says, hello there, Susan Dolan. Pell says, Sherry, thank you. It's great to meet you too. St. Ranger, I found all of them quickly, even though every other search before failed. The 1966 show Mr. Terrific, the superhero, he's black now and going to star in Superman. But anyway, no, it's a different guy. Mr. Terrific is about a guy who takes a superhero pill. That's perfect. A superhero who takes pills just in time for 1966. It reminded my classmates and I of LSD. Well, I imagine, yeah. It's like you're that one guy where the acid gives you superpowers, you know. It turns out the trip is not fake or an illusion. It's all real. See, that would be your powers. You can make everyone else experience the trip. Yeah, I don't know. But Mr. Terrific was a comic book character in the 40s. Never really caught on all that great. But DC Comics ended up owning the rights to the character. Later on, they made a new one. And he's kind of like a Reed Richards type character. He's black, and he's got all these the T-spheres, he calls them. So there's these floating balls that float around him. But they can do stuff like make force fields and everything. Yeah, you know. And from the looks of the Superman film, because a lot of the costumes, I thought, ooh, they look pretty bad. His looks exactly right. That's what the character looks like, you know. Funny how that works out. But anyway, there it is. Susan Dolan, great to see you, lovely Sherry. Pell-El, hello, Susan. Pell-El, feet are cut off. Just pretend he has diabetes. Now, come on. That could happen to me one day. Yeah, it was, well, all right. It was his shoes cut off. Let's go with that. Well, no, that would have been a good portion of his foot. Oh, well. Yeah, they were really irresponsible with the photograph of their costume guy. Susan Dolan says, hey there, Pell-El. Pell-El, he was Publishers Clearinghouse checks to houses, right? Oh, yeah, Ed McMahon. That was another gig he had. That's right. Yeah, he would knock on the door and the people would open it. Oh my God. Oh dear. Oh, you've won $1 million. Now you got to pay the taxes on it. You end up with, I don't know, 10,000. Anyway, Nodak, Ed was married 3 times. Oh, so pretty much him and Johnny. They did, yeah. Yeah. Pell-El. Ho, ho, ho. Ain't no cure for what I'm giving. Pam, what is that in reference of the janitor, I guess? Because, yeah, there's no cure. Pam, I am a shucky darn. St. Ranger, someone should make an oversized ARF book on top grade paper of all the women he has ever drawn. Call it Doug and the Ladies. So you mean an art book. So that is an idea. I could do that, you know. I could just publish a book of all the drawings of ladies. St. Ranger art book, not ARF. Yeah. I was beginning to think maybe you were trying to say ALF, you know, the puppet show. Pam, I am, good idea about the book. You know, Pam, you're right. It is a good idea. Pell-El, I'm so Photoshop inept. I'm watching in awe. How did you get her neck to fit in the neckline of the shirt? I erased her neck and I took some of it off, you know. Look, it's not her fault. She doesn't fit the exact dimensions of the original model, but you know, it's what I had to work with. But that's it. It's an eraser tool, and there's different settings that you can use. Some are just really hard straight lines, and that's, you know, yeah, it'll erase it, but then it's like a complete cut. But it's one of these other brushes within Photoshop that just sort of fades into it, and that works a lot better more times than not, where you can carefully fit it in, and then there you go, you're done. Pam, I am, a book of the good, bad, and ugly. So some of the ugly girls too. Yeah, I could put them in. The lovely Sherry, I use my phone to create memes. Yeah, a lot of people do that. I never really dealt with, I'm always on the desktop for all this stuff. But yeah, it is doable on the phone. But I mean, the vision ain't what it was, and it's small, even the bigger the phones get. And then there's my fingers are too big for it and all that. So I know people, they do everything on it, all their videos and stuff. It's all on the phone. But alas, I am an old man, and I will have to stick to old technology. I have the technology. Pam, I am Dead Eyes Lady. Think the hustler's dead-eyed? You're probably right. The horror. The horror. The horror. And then he died. Quote, apocalypse now, and her father describing her to his friends at work. Pell, where was Photoshop when my marriage fell apart? Surely it was around. I don't know. Maybe not. Pell, thick cuffs. Houdini couldn't get out of those. He couldn't get out of that tank when he. No, that was the movie. Did it like that? That was a. What the hell? No, that was a movie that just sort of ripped off the Houdini, because the Houdini, he did his act and everything was, he did his act through, but he was complaining about the pain because he kept this deal where he said, "Go ahead, hit me as hard as you can. I can take it," and he would do that, And then this one show he was doing, this. I think college kid or whatever. He said, "Yeah, go ahead." And the kid hit him, but boy, it, it was a little hard. And I guess he was probably on the verge of appendicitis. Is that the deal? He didn't realize it because he didn't have any symptoms yet. And I guess it made it burst prematurely, but he went ahead and did his show, his act and everything. And then afterwards he was complaining. He was like, "Oh my God." So what's the matter? He said, "I don't know. This kid hit me and geez, it still hurts." And then, he died from peritonitis later on. But another thing was people who saw the show, there was a guy, I can't remember who they were. I think they were kind of famous themselves or writers or something like that, and got to see that final show. And they saw it together, and the guy one of them had never seen a Houdini show before. This was his first and sadly only time. And he was saying, "Wow, that was great. You're right. He's spectacular." And the other guy was saying, "I don't know. He seemed off. That he's, I don't know. It was like off his game or something." And the other guy, everybody, he's like, "What are you talking about? It was great." But the guy had seen a lot of his shows and he noticed there was a difference. And well, of course, little did they know he was dying. Yeah. So, the lovely Sherry, always remember, you don't have to pay bills if you go to jail. That is true. See, look on the bright side of a situation. Pam, I am, wear compression socks if you sit too often. Yeah, that's true. But still, you can't sit all the time. You really can't. You got to get up. Pam, I am, jail seems better than living on the streets. You'd think so, but then a lot of people living on the streets, they're nuts. Plus, they live in constant fear of not having access to narcotics. But you can get that in jail too, for favors. Pell, a 22 schooler? A 22 schooler. Maybe he thought she was really dumb. That's possible. Boy, you keep getting held back, huh? St. Ranger, how dumb can these people be? The biker club is returning the mom on the 25th of August. Okay. Nodak, come and knock on my trailer. I've got a daughter. Come and knock on my trailer. I've got a daughter for you. Kisses for her and him and me too. There's Three's Company too. Yeah. That's the new premise for Three's Company. You always wonder because now, there's gay marriage and stuff, and landlord couldn't be doing what Mr. Roper was saying and all that. So this would be the new premise. I guess the landlord, Mr. Roper, is the father. and his daughter Chrissy, I guess. I don't know. Say, hey, come on in. You can cook? Well, move right in. Plus, Roper would be gay and would have a thing for Jack at this point. Anyway, St. Ranger Rufus and brother Rufus and sister Toothless. But ever since she became toothless, well, Pale Ale, LOL, and Pale Ale Poison Piss. That's right. That was Poison Piss. Yeah. Pale Ale urine is supposed to be sterile, right? Well, not when it contains well, yeah, does the pathogen survive? I mean, that's what they always say, but they say that like a jellyfish or something. Quick, piss on his foot. He got stung by the jellyfish. But so you think that could be? He's like, look, I didn't give her the herpes. You can't get it from my pee. But then it's like he rubbed his penis all over it and everything. It's a little bit more than that, I guess. Whatever. She's got it. Nodak, To All the Girls Who Drank My Piss Before is my favorite Julio Iglesias song. Yeah. PMIM, the urine may be sterile, but the delivery device, not. So there you go. Yeah. It's all in the pee-pee. PMIM, these people are so nasty. Yes. He's as nasty as he wanted to be, I guess. St. Ranger, urine is sterile to the person it came from as it comes out. My uncle Wilhelm was stranded in Russia in winter 1943 and told me he had to pee on his cuts and wounds. No medicine. Boy, that sounds like roughing it, doesn't it? Pale Ale at Nodak, LOL. Pale Ale at St. Ranger. Makes sense. See, you learn things on this show. Susan Dolan, hail Nodak. Nodak says, hi, Susan. Pam I am like Super Chicken. That character also took a pill. They pushed pills on us in the 60s. Yeah, well, they still do, don't they? That and shots, Susan Dolan, Pam I am, don't know anything about Super Chicken, but I used to listen to the 5-minute radio show, Chicken Man, He's Everywhere. Yeah. Chicken Man. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. Those are around somewhere. Chicken Man. As he once swore on the Golden Claw or some crap like that. St. Ranger, 1959. Tony Curtis. Yeah, Tony Curtis. He played the Boston Strangler. Gary Ambrosia. Hello, Gary. Hail, Mr. Nailsin. Geez, man, do you ever sleep? Not enough. But I got to stay up because I got to work all night tomorrow. Back at the old store, Yeah. So, this is the chance I have to do whatever this is. Gary Ambrosia is one of the panelists on the Doomcock Show, the Pop Culture Breakdown, Wednesdays, 7 till, 10 so or something like that, depending. Wednesday nights from Doomcock, Overlord DVD. That's the channel. And we talk about what else? Pop culture, And sadly, it's been a review of the devastation to beloved franchises that has happened over the past, I guess it's getting on to 10 years now, But every now and then, there's some gold here and there, And sooner or later, something's got to turn around. We'll see. Plus, there's the movie reviews, which I don't get to do as much anymore because I got to leave early and all that. But nevertheless, those are good too, where we look back at beloved films. I suppose eventually it might get into TV shows and stuff, maybe. But anyway, but films, and discuss them and all that sort of stuff and all that. So it's a cool deal. And for anything, you got to check Gary's little set that he made for himself. Ostensibly, I say set. Supposedly, it's a prison cell that he's put in for some amount of punishment that Overlord DVD is putting in. Look, it's publicly known. But it's a good little because it looks like he's sitting in a spaceship or something, you know. It looks cool. One day I'll contract him to build me one. Pam I am, the spleen breaks easily too. The spleen breaks. Now that sounds like a soap opera, doesn't it? As the spleen breaks. Susan Dolan says, Hail Gary Ambrosia. Gary Ambrosia says, Hail Susan. Well, there you have it. Everybody greeting everybody in the chat, which is consistent with, you know, chatting people and stuff like that, you know. Damn it, I'm already out of my sody water. I should mute the mic while I'm doing all this. I'm not. Don't you love that sound? Don't worry, it's Coke. It is Coke Zero, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Zero sugar. Why has it got such a weird looking? Aren't these supposed to like be black and stuff? Look at that. It's all. Why did they leave stuff alone? You know, I mean, how am I going to recognize anything? Jeez. This isn't the cherry one, is it? No, it's not. What the hell? They put purple in it and God, jeez. Brand identity, morons. It's got to be instantly recognizable. So you toss that into your little shopping cart. Do I have to spell everything out? And unfortunately, increasingly, the answer is yes. Gary Ambrosia, I think Snow White will be the big turnaround for Disney going Saturday, and I can't wait. I know. Your girl Rachel in all her glory. The Snow White movie. So how much money did they put into it? How much money did they have to put into it to try to fix it? How much money did they have to put in to repair damage, which is impossible at this point, that stupid little idiot did? The drama begins, I mean, right off the bat, the idea of doing these live action remakes, which I just never care. I haven't seen any of them. And some people have liked some of them. I think the Lion King one did well. Stuff like that. But Snow White, good Lord. And Snow White, it's significant because the original Snow White movie basically made Disney. You know, that was the big breakout and quite the achievement, animation and all that, especially for its time. And then here, 100 years later, hey, what a bookend. So the Snow White movie, and right out the bat, or out the gate, off the bat, whatever. Peter Dinklage, remember that? That was the first little scandal, yeah, where he comes in and moans and groans that they're going to have dwarves in the movie. Well, yeah. And no, what are you doing? My God. So now all the dwarves are looking for acting gigs. Nope, no work for you. Then it was supposed to be these bandits or something. And you saw a shot of them where it just looked like a bunch of hippies and one dwarf. They had one dwarf there. Yeah. I don't know what becomes of them, if they're still in the movie at any frame or what have you. But nevertheless, that's what they did. Then Rachel Ziegler has to open her mouth. Craps all over the story, all over the original film, the concept, all of it. You know, Jesus, she's going to be this revolutionary leader in the film. Apparently, the beloved song about, you know, awaiting my prince. Nah, get that out of there. What are you, crazy? Hetero romance? That's stupid. So, all right. And then, well, we're going to have dwarves, but there'll be these magical creatures. Now, look, In the other live action remakes, that's the deal. That's all that CGI stuff. They're all the animals, of course, are not real. Dwarves are people, so they actually exist. You can cast a dwarf to play those characters, And really, what an opportunity of the range of the different characters, all their different emotions and whatnot. And it could have acted all that out. Nah, yet. Holy crap. And then, of course, Rachel just could not shut up, and which, of course, damns the movie and did terrible detriment to her career. And this is the worst possible time to be doing that, because I don't know what the future is for film and entertainment industry. It's not going to be like it has been. Too many factors converging at once. The technology, AI, and all that stuff, that's a looming thing. That's nothing you can do. It's here to stay, and it will grow. And you're going to have to figure out how to navigate that. But at the same time, this past bizarre era of the woke era that, everyone's reduced to skin and genitals and whatnot is, again, another thing at the worst possible time for that to happen. But they were drunk with money at the outset and thought, we can do whatever we want. Screw you. And we're going to give you the films you need, not the films you want. And that kind of attitude. Well, yeah. So, just stupid all around. And here it is. Here we are. Isn't that nice? Yes. So Snow White. Hello, Coke is woke. What? Even, what if they said woke zero? That's how you make Coke great again. Nodak, just guessing there is sarcasm hidden in that statement, Gary. Gary says, good night, you guys. All right, Gary. Thanks for stopping by. Nodak, the only good scene in the OG Snow White movie is the clip that's in the Gremlins movie. I'm drawing a blank on that. Oh, well. Pell Snow White new script is to drug the dwarfs and rob. Is that what she does? Look, she's, collecting funds for her revolution. You understand? It's for her true cause. No, Susan Dolan says, see you later, Gary. And Pell, good night, Gary Ambrosia. So good night, Gary Ambrosia, indeed. And good night to all. Wow, 2 hours. Oh, my goodness. How did I do it? I know. Sometimes I amaze even me. So there we go. We had a good little chit chat about these crooked crooks, and even ended up talking about Snow White. I didn't see that coming, but then, Gary showed up. Thanks, Gary. And good luck with the movie. I will not be seeing it, but I guess Gary will take one for the team on that. So anyway, besides, I got an excuse. I got to work this weekend. And my time is extremely limited now. I did watch a lot of god-awful shows, particularly for the Doomcock show. Let's see, there was Willow. The show, not the movie. The movie's fine. It's a fun movie. The show, oh, geez. Although since then, I've seen far worse than that. The Willow show was just more stupid than, enraging or anything like that. Secret Invasion, just absolute garbage. The Doctor Who shows of late, like this recent one, I still haven't watched the Christmas special, the first one with Singing Goblins or whatever. And, but we were reviewing it for Doomcock show. And so, okay, I saw this, saw, I think, just about most of them. God, those are bad. Trying to think. Oh, the Acolyte. Jeez Louise. And I don't know. It looks like that was the final straw for Star Wars, because the Skeleton Crew show was actually a nice little show. It was cute and stuff. And Jude Law, boy, that's a talent that doesn't get enough work. He really carried the show and stuff. That's somebody you should recognize what he's capable of, but that ain't gonna happen. You know, it's just so much stupid. But the damage is done to the brand overall. Then there's Daredevil now, and it's way too slow. It's got its problems, but nobody showed up to begin with. So that tells you something there. That's before anyone saw it and said, well, you know, it should do this or that. There's some good stuff, but it's kind of slow. All that kind of stuff. And maybe someone was like, yeah, I'm dropping it. But no, they never even bothered. So that's a bad sign for MCU. So, I mean, it's like, well, you can bring back Robert Downey Jr., but what if nobody comes anyway? Gee, makes you wonder. Did we do something wrong? Yes. Okay, Saint Ranger, what fun you are. Amazing. Pam, I am. We need a Mad Max Snow White. Okay. Saint Ranger, funny or mad world sequel. Pam, I am. It was a pleasure spending this evening with all you folks, and great laughs too. Cheers. Thank you, Pam, I am. So, and thanks to everyone else who showed up. And I hope you had a lot of fun with all these shenanigans with, well, you know, criminals, horrible fathers, easily the worst father. It's probably worse, I'm guessing, but good Lord, not worse than that guy. Jeez Louise. What an idiot. But then again, was there an ulterior motive on his part for this guy? He seemed nice. I don't know. So there we go. The hustler, you know, and the pissy janitor, you know. Oh, wait, there's one more. Pam, we did Snow White and the Huntsman. The chick from Twilight, Chris Hemsworth, and Charlize Theron, was she in it? How the hell do you spell her last name? Something like that. Not therein, but I think it's Charlize, not Charlene, but she's absolutely stunning, but kind of nutty, you know. But hey, look, it's Hollywood. Saint Ranger, it was a blast. Pell, that janitor was not employee of the Monther either, I bet. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I do remember the Huntsman thing was a Snow White, but that's the deal. I don't really care about people doing their own, because it's the fairy tale. Anybody can do a Snow White movie. You just can't make it look like the Disney version, you know. But yeah, just watch the original. It was an iconic film and holds a very important place in the history of cinema overall as well. Which is kind of even more to the stupidity of doing this, you know, even if everybody had been nice and it was, you know, okay and everything, it's still kind of like, you're never going to measure up to an absolute classic. You know, it's like the old joke of, when are you going to remake Citizen Kane? You know, that kind of thing. It's like, you don't. Now, fairy tales and stuff, original stories like that and all that, yes, you could do your own version of it. That kind of thing. But especially originally, but to do it in keeping and all those songs and stuff, yeah, no. So anyway, there we go. We've learned a lot about things we'd rather not even know about. But I know it's hard. I know it hurts. But you're now wiser. Perhaps sadder, but wiser. You're welcome. All right, good night. We'll do it again. I may be able to do one in the morning. I doubt it, but possibly Saturday. And then these days, I think all the Sunday comic shows will be live. So, hey, there's that. That's something. Yeah. All right, good night, everybody.
killing it, killing it, killing it, killing it. Nailsin News. 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 Where all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? While killers be killing and killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. News. Where all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News. News.